The world is noisy. In one community, there are sirens, and in another, there are gunshots or somebody driving into a crowd. Overseas, there are drone bombs that are exploding and killing civilians. And then, of course, online, arguments are erupting by the second. And in the middle of it all, some of us just want to be the kind of person who helps. But how do we do that when we feel helpless ourselves? In this episode of Terrified Nation, we ask, what does it look like to become the helper we're looking for?
If you've ever felt fear, doubt, or despair about the future of our country, you're not alone. Terrified Nation is a podcast for those ready to face hard truths with open hearts. Hosted by Debilyn Molineaux, each episode explores how we can move beyond division and build a society rooted in care, courage, and connection. If this resonates with you, hit follow and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Now here's your host, Debilyn Molineaux.
Welcome back to Terrified Nation. I'm your host, Debilyn Molineaux. And this season, we are diving into the big emotions of fear, anger, and despair. And we're learning how to manage them so that we don't get stuck in survival mode. And today, we're talking about how we respond to the chaos of the world, or our neighborhood, or our nation. And what does it take to become part of the solution, even when we are exhausted and overwhelmed and unsure of where to start? The world is noisy. Sirens in one community, gunshots in another, drone bombs exploding in one country, infrastructure attacks in another. And closer to home, online arguments are erupting by the second. And sometimes the chaos is so loud, I just want to put in my ear pods and escape it all. And sometimes I do. But escape is temporary, because eventually we have to decide what kind of person we want to become in response to the world, in response to the violence and anger and fear. Do we become hardened, numb, cynical? Or do we become something else? Someone who shows up with care and with presence and with purpose. The idea of being a helper may sound soft. You know, Mr. Rogers' famous quote to children to look for the helpers when they are scared applies to all of us. And I don't mean being a helper in the cute kindergarten kind of way, because it takes real courage, the kind that's grounded and quiet, the kind of courage that chooses to walk into the pain, not to fix it, but to accompany others through it. This is the hard and sacred work of reclaiming our humanity in a world that has made dehumanization the profit by which we live. Becoming human and honoring that humanity with others is sacred rebellion. And for me, this concept first started for me when I realized that I can't keep waiting for someone else to go first. And I can't just wait for the world to calm down before I took action. If I wanted to see more kindness in the world, I had to be kinder. And if I wanted healing for myself, for others, I had to learn how to sit with my pain and with someone else's pain. And that's not easy. It is countercultural. It is radical. And we are living in a time when people are trained to respond to pain with blame, when vulnerability is mocked, where having boundaries is painted as selfish, and where helping others, unless it's performative, gets no attention at all. But here's the truth. Being a helper isn't about having the answers or fixing the situation. It is about being present. It is about being the kind of person who listens deeply, who stays open even when things get uncomfortable, who asks, what is mine to do? And then follows through. So maybe today, your version of helping is texting a friend who is struggling and just say, I'm thinking about you. Maybe your way of helping today is pausing before you react to that inflammatory headline. Or maybe your act of helping today is showing up for a local meeting, even when you would rather stay home. Maybe it's forgiving yourself for the days that you can't do any of that, and you just choose to begin again tomorrow. You see, becoming a helper doesn't require a cape. It requires a heart, and it's contagious. This is the good news here. When one person leads with care, with kindness, other people feel it. So witnessing someone delivering an act of kindness helps us individually soften and heal and begin to believe that it's possible to have a kinder world. So the next time for you that the world feels overwhelming, pause. Just pause for a second and take a deep breath. And then ask yourself, what would an act of kindness or love be right now in this moment? And then take that action with all the courage that you have. Now, if this episode resonated with you, I would love to hear how you are becoming the helper that you're looking for. Maybe you decided to check on a neighbor, or maybe you spoke up kindly when someone else was lashing out. Maybe you dropped off soup for a sick friend or picked up the trash on your block, or simply chose to listen to someone else without interrupting until they were done. Those everyday actions matter. Please, please leave a comment on Substack or share this episode with someone else who needs it. Or even post your own reflections on social media and tag Terrified Nation. You can also leave a review on your favorite podcast platform, because those reviews really do help others find us. And if you want early access to episodes and behind the scenes updates, become a paid subscriber on Substack. It helps us keep going and growing. Because we are not just talking about fear, anger, and despair. We are moving through them together. Join me next time.
That's Terrified Nation, a podcast from American Future. If this episode moved you, please help others find it. Leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. For early access to new episodes, become a paid subscriber at terrifiednation.com. Join us next time.